Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Tom Johnson begins now.
Good evening. An inmate has allegedly escaped Risdon prison this morning, sparking a dramatic police pursuit. The fugitive is accused of carjacking a member of the public before his daring getaway crashed to a halt. But the latest incident has again raised concerns about the ongoing security within the prison.
The aftermath of a brazen escape, police examining the scene as onlookers watched on.
Yeah, it's hectic in Bridgewater today.
Earlier that morning, a 35-year-old male inmate allegedly broke out of the Ron Barwick minimum security section of the prison, fleeing on foot through bushland towards a suburban street in nearby Risdon Vale, before allegedly breaking into a white Ford Ranger.
He drove north on the East Irwin Highway towards Bridgewater. He has driven in a loop, we believe at this stage, around the back of Gagebrook, and that is where it has occurred that he's had a collision, we believe, with 2 members of the public.
Unknown to the fugitive, a firearm was stored in the back tray, but police say that weapon wasn't used and it's unlikely anyone else assisted in the getaway.
At this stage, we believe it was a purely coincidental circumstance that the car was at that address and happened to be stolen from that address.
The car ploughing through a fence on the side of the East Irwin Highway, the entire ordeal lasting just 20 minutes.
It was intercepted by police at a roadblock and was spiked, and the vehicle came to rest a short distance later on the northern side of the Jordan River Bridge.
The offender and a police officer suffering minor injuries before he was taken into custody and is expected to be charged tomorrow morning. Today's incident is the latest in a long line of prison bungles, with new documents revealing 7 inmates were mistakenly released from Risdon in the last 4 years. Another 4 were released later than they should have been. The Corrections Minister says inadvertent human error was to blame in each case, and a new sentencing management division is being put in place to ensure it doesn't happen again. Ainsley Kosh, 7 Tasmanian News.
A major investigation into the 3 fatalities in Targa, Tasmania earlier this year has recommended sweeping reforms. For more on this, we're now joined by our reporter Letitia Wallace. And Letitia, how widespread are these changes?
Good evening, Tom. A total of 23 recommendations and a training and safety overhaul will take place following the tragic deaths of 3 Targa competitors in April. Drivers Shane Navin and Lee Mundy and co-driver Dennis Neagle died after their vehicles lost control in separate crashes over consecutive days of the course. Motorsport Australia says it will action all recommendations in the report by March next year, with Targa Australia also committed to implementing changes relating to its road race.
Speed is obviously always a factor considered in our world, so now that will change the nature of our courses a little bit.
I believe the tribunal has highlighted the need for us to be constantly vigilant around the education and training, particularly when you've got competitors that may not have competed for a couple of years and need the extra encouragement and incentive to learn about these things, and people can sometimes get complacent.
Now, other recommendations include designing courses where speeds above 200 kilometres an hour cannot be achieved, and a tiered driver licensing system. And Tom, organisers say the event is set to go ahead with the changes in March next year for its 30th anniversary.
The Tasmanian salmon industry is set for a shake-up, with the state government announcing it'll develop a 10-year sustainability plan. The move has been welcomed by the industry, but not everyone is impressed.
Hitting the reset button on Tasmania's salmon industry.
Today we will be developing a new 10-year salmon plan.
Plagued with bad publicity, many concerned about its environmental impacts, or as the minister puts it,
the industry has been under attack from dark forces.
The decade-long plan will be developed over the next 12 months to be in place by January 1, 2023.
The pressure that has been on this government to force change and protect the natural environment, animal welfare and communities around Tasmania from industrial fish farming is working.
A 1-year moratorium in place for existing exploration permits to be considered.
What are they doing here? They're adopting a Greens policy and putting further jobs at risk.
Some unhappy with the proposal.
This is a dark day for Tasmanian industry. And a small group of vocal environmentalists have caused the buckling of a Liberal government. This is an astounding and very disappointing decision indeed.
He couldn't be speaking with the companies because I've spoken with all three this morning. They understand what we're doing, they understand why we're doing it, and importantly they understand that it's about ensuring that we have a sustainable salmon industry.
In a statement, the Tasmanian Salmon Growers Association says it supports a 10-year plan for the industry and looks forward to robust consultation with the state government. It comes after a tumultuous day in Tasmania's parliament. The Greens leader booted from the lower house.
Ms O'Connor, if you wish to extend that, if you wish to say any more, that time will be extended.
Nice try.
Ms O'Connor, it is now 12 o'clock when you are allowed to return.
Preventing a matter of public importance debate.
We are querying whether or not there's a double standard in place because following my ejection from the House, there was numerous interjections from both opposition and government members.
That debate on a Supreme Court ruling to overturn a decision to grant a permit for the controversial Lake Malbina tourism project.
This proposal needs to go through some further assessment against the reserve management plan for the Tasmanian Wilderness World Heritage Area, which is really good news.
Meg Sides, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmania will host the start of the WBBL season due to interstate COVID disruptions in a major sporting win for the state. While footy fans are also rejoicing with the government extending its deal with the Hawks and Kangaroos.
As students kicked goals in the Tassie Hawks Cup, the Tasmanian government was also on the mark.
Premier, pull it back further. That's better.
There we go. Finalising one-year deal extensions with Hawthorn and North Melbourne to each play 4 home games in the state.
It's really important to us. We've got a long-standing relationship, a really three-dimensional relationship with the people of Tasmania.
Once a licence is granted and we've got a time frame, which I would expect to be somewhere around 2026-27, that we'll need to put in place transitional arrangements in terms of the arrangements with Hawthorn and North Melbourne.
But it wasn't just footy fans salivating. Tasmania's cricket community receiving a major coup, the first 20 WBBL matches to be held across Hobart and Launceston from next month.
Behind the BBL, the AFL and the NRL, the WBBL is the most popular sporting event in the country, and to have it start in Tasmania is absolutely fantastic.
It'll mean that there are going to be thousands and thousands of eyeballs fixed on Tasmania as people watch the great game of women's cricket.
6 of the matches will feature the Hobart Hurricanes, with a strict bubble not being considered for interstate teams.
They'll be living by the law of the land, so they'll have to do the things that Tasmanians have to do, social distancing, checking in at venues, doing all that type of thing. But we want them to actually enjoy what Tasmania has to offer while they're here for that 3-week period.
Cricket Tasmania insists the grounds will be ready in time.
In Launceston, the drop-in wickets are being prepared, and Invermay Park will be prepared off the back of what was a pretty big footy season, but we're really confident our grounds will be up to scratch and ready to go. A little bit more sunshine like this is just helping the process.
The first match will be a night game at Blunston Arena on October 14. Letitia Wallace, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmanian students who completed their final year of high school during the height of the pandemic will be given a helping hand to enter the workforce. The Youth Navigators program was launched today, providing support and advice for 2020 school leavers who face significant disruptions to their education.
So this is really to provide young people with an opportunity that haven't really decided what the future looks like for them, and to explore alternative education, training and employment pathways.
I know a lot of people who don't have jobs and they really want one, or they have a job and they don't like the job they're in and are looking for something better. So, I think this will really help people that I know.
The 12-month pilot program will be delivered through youth-focused services around the state.
Good evening. A fine day with cloudy conditions, some very light showers in the north and south. 14 in Hobart and Devonport today, 16 for Launceston, while Burnie reached 15. 17 the state's top at Scott's Peak. The Friendly Beaches reached 16. 15 a popular temperature today at Cressy, Smithton, Wynyard, Campania, Grove, Bushy Park and Strawn. 14 on King Island and at Low Head and St Helens. Low level cloud over much of the state today. Further out in low cloud over Victoria and southeast parts. To tomorrow, and a trough will cross Tasmania with the cold front passing to the south of the Bight. A high sits off the coast of New South Wales. On the water, and north to northeasterly winds at 10 to 20 knots, swells to 2 metres in the west and south, below a metre in the east. And just one warning for tomorrow, a strong wind warning from Wineglass Bay to Stanley. Friday's forecast now, a late shower on the way for Hobart, Huonville and Campania, all 17. Showers developing for Launceston, 16, Devonport 14, Georgetown 15. Showers developing for Burnie, Strawn and Wynyard. Late showers on the way for St Helens, 16, Swansea 17, Port Arthur a late shower forecast, 15 there. Looking to the 3-day forecast now, and showers more frequent for the northwest and central parts. Onto Sunday, and showers once again about the northwest and far south, extending throughout during the morning. And finally Monday, showers more frequent in the west, snowfalls to around 600 metres. Melbourne tomorrow, showers developing in 21, Perth 18, Adelaide 22, Canberra 19, Sydney sunny and 21, Brisbane 24 and Darwin sunny and 34 degrees. And it's 10 degrees right now in Hobart, 10 in Launceston and 9 degrees in Devonport. Tom, some showers developing and extending into the weekend. That's all from me.
Still feels a bit like winter. Thanks very much for that, Laura. And that is all your news for now. I'll be back later on tonight with updates. Thanks so much for joining us. Good night.